How's it going, guys? I hope you guys having a great week. So I'm back today with a gaming news video, guys. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but today we're going to be talking about Cyberpunk 2077. Before we get on to that, though, what I do want to point out to you guys is, obviously, as you guys know, I've started to live stream a lot more this year, and we will always do a multiplayer Wednesday, but I have actually put a poll up on my community page, and I'd like your input, basically, on what days that you're free, what your preferences are for days that I possibly stream in the week. So if you are interested and you want to have your say, don't forget to pop across to my community page and obviously make your voice heard. Just to let you guys know as well, I'm going to be live streaming this evening. Just want to say big thank you to Square Enix, who gave me a review copy of Outriders on the PlayStation 5. I'm hyped. I'm so hyped to play this game, and I'm going to be live streaming it this evening at 7 p.m. GMT time. I'm going to probably do maybe a 4 or 5 hour extended stream to check it out. I'm going to be jumping in as the trickster. So hopefully, you know, some of you can join to check out the game. If you can't and you're busy, don't worry. It'll be up on the channel after the fact. But anyway, let's get back to business, guys. So we're here today to talk about Cyberpunk 2077. There's been some pretty big news this week. This week we had patch 1.20 actually land. It was delayed, obviously. It was supposed to come out, I think, in February, March time, but it was delayed due to CD Projekt Red getting hacked, and obviously that stopped their staff being able to work on the patch. Well, it was released this week on the consoles, you know, and also on PC. Stadia, I think, is coming later on this week or next week, but I've got to say the size of this patch is utterly insane. On the PlayStation 4, PS5 alone, it is 44 gigabytes in size. It is absolutely huge, and it brings over 100 plus fixes to the game. Now, I'm not going to go through every single fix and update because there's a lot. If you go on to CD Projekt Red's kind of patch notes page and just scroll through, you'll get a sense of the sheer scale and size of this patch. But I do want to cover some of the notable features and notable improvements. One of the biggest ones that obviously was requested was an improvement with the police, because as we know, the police AI are kind of broken. They just spawn on your location. Doesn't matter where you are. If you've committed a crime, you're going down. Well, CD Projekt Red have actually kind of tweaked it and improved it a little bit. Still don't think it's enough personally. I still think the AI has a lot of work, or it needs a lot of work. But what they have done is they have increased the Night City PD's spawn radius after a player commits a crime. So rather than spawning on your position, they may spawn 10, 20 feet off your position, and obviously take time to run up to your location. So you can make a choice, I guess, at that point, if you're going to take them on or fight them, or obviously flee the scene. Apparently there are going to be some Recon Drones as well that will kind of scout out the area first, and obviously will make a decision as to whether or not to call the police. Apparently they have introduced some various Npc behavior fixes as well. Most notably when driving, a lot of the AI would kind of just sort of run and jump in front of your car, or when they get scared, they just sort of stop moving and just start to do really stupid things that just were not very natural. Of course, they've improved memory management, performance, and stability. Hopefully, that is going to improve the game's performance, particularly in terms of crashes. That was one of the biggest issues that I faced on the PlayStation 5. So hopefully, you know, if the game does crash a lot less and frame rates are more stable for people playing it on the, you know, base PS4 or Xbox One, that will definitely be better. Apparently there are some UI fixes as well, so hopefully, you know, it means no more crashes, no more random deaths. Maybe T-posing or freakish character models are going to be a thing of the past. Hopefully players' clothing will stop just randomly disappearing in the menu. But one of the additions they have introduced, which I'm very happy about, is finally an added option to actually craft multiple items at once, which, to be fair, should have been in from day one, but I am very happy to see that they have put it here in the patch. Now, I played a little bit of Cyberpunk 2077 today. I probably played about 2 hours just because I wanted to check it out. I haven't noticed massive changes, but I will say the game hasn't crashed on me today, so that's very much a good sign. I do certainly respect CD Projekt Red's transparency on the improvements and fixes that they have included. Their patch notes are really extensive. Like, they're probably the most detailed patch notes that I've ever actually seen, which is kind of insane. And, you know, it clearly does explain why the file size of the patch is so huge. But what I will say is it does clearly show that the game just was not ready on launch. There were so many fixes, so many bugs, so many issues, so many game-breaking, mission-breaking bugs as well, that when you read through these patch notes, it's kind of sad, you know, just to read actually how much CD Projekt Red actually had to fix the game. And that's not just talking about quality of life improvements and all the added features that we also want on top of it. You know, these are basic performance issues and mission bugs and glitches. So, you know, it really does show that the game was rushed, that it just was not ready for release. And, you know, CD Projekt Red may well receive some flack for that. You know, looking at these patches, it's both a double-edged sword. They're cursed if they're not transparent, but they are also cursed if they are transparent, and criticized, obviously, for the sheer volume of fixes that they've had to introduce. What I will say as well, one of my major issues with all of this as well is now the file size for Cyberpunk 2077, which was already astronomically high at about 100 gigabytes in size. Well, now with the patch 1.20, the game is actually about 144 gigabytes in size, and that's just because of the updates. I'm sure there are going to be many other patches and fixes to come, which is going to increase the size. And then, of course, we also have a lot of free DLC and multiple updates and expansions to come, paid expansions. CD Projekt Red have confirmed, you know, early on that they're going to be sort of taking a leaf out of The Witcher 3's book, and they are going to be introducing a lot of free DLC, a lot of paid expansions, and that's just going to increase the file size for Cyberpunk 2077, which, given the fact that I own a PlayStation 5, that hard drive is now very much seeming too small. And I actually had to delete a couple of games off of my hard drive just so that I could actually install this patch, you know, and update. So that's a bit sad, because it does mean that may well put people off, you know, jumping back in, because people might sort of say, well, no, like, that's ridiculous. The fact that I have to install such a huge update because the game was broken, it may well put people off giving it a chance. And that's just, you know, it's a big shame. But I can understand where people are coming from. Speaking of, obviously, DLC and expansion packs, the other big news that we got this week was some leaked listings on the Epic Games Store for some possible free DLC packs and also 3 possible paid expansions. This information was found by Prickly Assassin and actually posted on Reddit. Now, it is all sort of speculation, leaks. None of this has been like officially confirmed or anything, but it does sort of give some insight into where maybe CD Projekt Red are actually going. So I'm just going to delve a little bit into a couple of the DLC packs that were mentioned. I'll have some screenshots here just so you can kind of see the original post that was made, as well as some of the images from the Epic Games Store that Prickly Assassin took a picture of to kind of show, you know, where this has come from. So let's talk about the 10 free DLC packs first, and we'll go through each of them and kind of speculate what they may well be about. These are all purely speculations, guys, so this is not fact. This is just a little bit of fun to speculate on what might be coming. So first up, there are 10 free DLC packs possibly. The first one is a Ripperdocs expansion. Now obviously this may well add some additional cyberware, possibly some new Ripperdocs on the map. Hopefully it will improve, you know, the way in which Ripperdocs work, and I would like to see sort of more cutscenes and animations that really do flesh out that experience. But it would be really cool to see. There's also going to be a Body Shops expansion. Now this could be one of two things. Body Shops could be with relation to cars, so you may be able to repair cars, or possibly it may involve some kind of car customization. very kind of need for speed. Or body shop may actually reference your own V, your character, so you may be able to sort of get tattoos done or piercings, you know, to change the look and style of your character. There is also going to be a fashion forward expansion. This goes without saying, it's obviously going to be, you know, delving into fashion, a clothing expansion. Maybe we will finally get some kind of layered clothing wherein we can, you know, craft clothing that we like the look of and still look like that, but maybe, you know, we can still wear other clothing to get those stats that we want and buffs. And particularly I found with Night City, I really wanted my V to look cool. That was very much about the street cred, very much about my cool factor. So often I would kind of sacrifice stats simply for looks, because that's the way in that I role played my V. So hopefully the ability to have layered clothing will make a big difference. There's another DLC pack called Gangs of Night City. This may well add more gangs, but I'm actually hoping that it will expand upon some of the gangs actually in Night City, particularly Maelstrom, particularly the Voodoo Boys. I'd really, you know, the Moxies. I'd really like to see some decent story-based free DLC that expands upon these gangs rather than introducing new ones, because I feel a lot of those gangs were kind of really looked over and they weren't delved into in as much detail as I would have liked. There is a DLC called Body of Chrome as well. This could possibly be a story DLC based around Lizzie Wizzy, I think it is, who's like, her body is fully chrome, so it makes sense. Or it could also be kind of expansion for your character. So one of the things that people did say with the cybernetics is they didn't really change the way that your V looked. They wanted to be able to create something truly unique. So having, you know, proper chrome arms and cybernetics, and really changing, you know, the way that your V looks and making it really cool and really unique. So hopefully, you know, that will be the case. There is another DLC called Rides of the Dark Future, so maybe we'll get more vehicles, more bikes. I want a car that can fly. That is what I want. There are vehicles in Night City that can fly, that can hover. We've seen it, particularly if you play the corpo background. I want a car that can fly around the city, and that would be really cool to get that sense of verticality, but we'll have to see. There is also another DLC called The Relic. This may well be a story DLC. Now, it could be about the immortality chip, which is the chip that obviously houses the consciousness of Johnny Silverhand. So it may well be a Johnny Silverhand expansion or story related. It could be an Arasaka related expansion, but I'm all for that, you know, if that is a story-based DLC. And then we have Neck Deep and Night City expansions. So we may well get some new areas of Night City introduced that we couldn't explore before. Maybe there'll be more interiors for different buildings so we could actually explore inside different buildings, possibly. But there's a lot of free content coming from the sounds of it, and I'm very happy to hear that. I definitely want more quality of life expansions, and I definitely want more story expansions as well. And then of course, according to this Reddit post, you know, if we're to have a look at the hints, there may well possibly be 3 paid expansions, and that's very within line of what we had, you know, with The Witcher 3 and obviously Hearthstone and Blood and Wine, which were outstanding expansions. They were games virtually in themselves. So we may well get 2 or 3 paid expansions. There are rumors of a possible expansion pass as well, priced at $14.99. That seems quite low price for an expansion pass, particularly if you've got 3 actual expansion packs. So I'm not sure how legitimate that leak is or that information is, but certainly I'm interested, you know, in the DLC that's going to be included. And I'm kind of really half and half about holding off until all of this DLC is out and until the next gen version is out on the PlayStation 5, and then jumping back in and playing through the game again and seeing what these add to it. But we'll have to wait and see, obviously. But yes, certainly there's quite a bit of Cyberpunk 2077 news this week. Let me know what your thoughts are on the patch. Have you jumped in and checked out Cyberpunk 2077 since the patch? Are you going to give it a chance? Drones? What are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comment section below. And what are your thoughts on these DLC leaks? What would you actually like to see from CD Projekt Red in terms of DLC content? Please share those in the comment section below. I hope you guys are having a great week, of course. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I always enjoy doing news videos and just giving my thoughts on things and generally getting excited. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to support the channel by liking, commenting, subscribing, and you know what? Consider becoming a member of the channel. Join the N7 crew and please support the channel in whatever way that you can. But anyway, hope you guys are having a great week, of course. Take care, and as always, happy gaming. Bye, guys.